Hey, thanks for joining us. If you're watching this, it's because you understand that it doesn't take a special gift to write great songs. You know that you just need to know the ingredients, when to use them, and how to use them. The free mini workshop you're about to watch will introduce you to the 8 ingredients of successful songwriting. Mastering these 8 ingredients will allow you to pinpoint exactly what you need to do to take any song from good to great. This workshop is the introductory lesson for my 12-week course, The Intentional Songwriter. In the course, we break down each of these 8 ingredients so that you can confidently and quickly identify how to take your songs to the next level. I'm sure the workshop you're about to watch will give you plenty to think about and incorporate into your songs right away. But in case you want to dig even deeper, stick around until the very end of this video for a special offer on the 12-week course that's only going to be available for the next 48 hours. So let's get cracking. Allow me to introduce you to the 8 ingredients of great songwriting. As I mentioned in the introduction, it does not take a special gift to write great songs. Writing great songs is just like following a recipe to bake a cake. It just takes knowing the ingredients of a great song, how much to use, and when to use them. Continuing with our baking metaphor, the ingredients of great songwriting are at the heart of every Pie Scout. Pie Scout. P-I-E-S-C-O-U-T. The P is for prosody. Prosody is making sure that every part of your song is working towards the type of emotion that you're trying to get across at any given moment. Your melody, harmony, rhyme scheme, the number of lines, the length of your lines, and even rhythm all contribute to whether or not your song feels stable or unstable. For example, with rhythm, something as simple as the starting beat can completely change the feel of your lyrics. Look at what happens to the feeling of this line when I change the starting beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not doing this. The first one sounds unsure. Gulp. I'm not doing this. The second one sounds defiant. I'm not doing this. Prosody makes sure that your lyrics and melody match the way you naturally speak, so that everything works together to give one emotion. It also makes sure that your song is cohesive and easy to sing. Mastering this ingredient is one of the biggest things that separates amateur songwriters from pros. According to John Mayer's songwriting instructor, Pat Pattison, even some pros are still working on it. Pat Pattison has great books and courses on prosody that I'd highly recommend to anyone. We'll be building on some of his strategies in the course. The I in Pie Scout is for imagery. Imagery is the art of making a movie play in your audience's head. It's the difference between telling someone how you feel and showing someone how you feel. The difference between informing your audience of what happened and letting them experience it for themselves. For example, if I say, Jimmy is sad, you've been informed that Jimmy is sad, but you don't immediately feel sad with Jimmy. However, if I say, Jimmy is on the floor, tears streaming down his face, squeezing his pillow like a friend who died in his arms, with a look in his eyes that says, I don't have anything left. Suddenly you care a little bit. And that's the power of imagery. The way we create imagery is by utilizing the 7 senses. Yes, I said 7. They are sight, sound, taste, feel, smell, body, and motion. By using these 7 senses alongside a skillful combination of action, images, and details, you allow imagery to change your song from a nice tune to an experience. Jason Bloom is the specialist when it comes to using action, images, and details. He's got plenty of courses and books that delve deep into imagery and other songwriting tips. We'll be delving into some of his gems as well as other imagery tips and tricks I've learned along the way. The E in Pie Scout is for energy and emotional build. Songwriting is an emotional art form. The power of a good song is that it makes you feel something. That emotion should build as each section of the song moves forward, and there are strategic ways to do that using songwriting as well as the arrangement of the song. Building emotional energy can be as simple as singing in a higher pitch, going from short, quick phrases to long, powerful ones, or increasing the distance between the notes in your melody. For example, let's say I made a song where the verse sounded like Mary Had a Little Lamb and the hook was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Now look what happens when I change the first twinkle on Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to be as high as the second one. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Notice how much more chorus-like it sounded when I did that. And all I did was change 2 notes. Knowing how to make changes like this can be what takes your song from pretty good to something that sounds like a hit. Imagine Adele's Hello if the chorus was in the same octave as the verse. Move them an octave higher and you've got a song that gives you chills. The more you can build the energy and emotion of the song, the more lasting your impact will be on your audience. The S in Pi Scout is for storytelling. Storytelling is something that's been a part of every culture around the world since the dawn of humanity. Today's storytellers go by titles like author, film director, screenwriter, and not least of all, songwriter. The most engaging songs are the ones that do a good job of telling a story. Whether you're describing what happened or what someone is thinking when something happened, you're telling a story. Naturally, storytelling isn't simply saying what happened. Like the storytellers of old, there are certain techniques that one can use to make the story more interesting and keep the listener engaged. Mystery, false endings, allegory, setting, point of view, saying it like no one else could, call and response, one of my personal favorites. Spotlighting certain parts of your lines, using rhythm, rhyme scheme, or length of lines. Nonsense syllables, strategic repetition, onomatopoeia, metaphor, simile, playing with expectations, alliteration. There are a closet full of options to choose from. One of my favorite storytelling techniques is to use call and response in combination with gang vocals. Gang vocals are basically a bunch of people saying, shouting, or singing something at the same time. Call and response is just what it sounds like. There's a call and then there's a response. We will rock you, the whole stadium shouts. We will is the call, and rock you is the response. Jay Frank, author of future hit DNA, made me aware of the power of these techniques. Using his experience as former VP of Music Programming and Label Relations at Yahoo Music, he breaks down trends that he's observed in hit songs through different stages of his career. He also breaks down the psychology of why those trends work. One of them was call and response, and another was gang vocals. He says in the book that memorability is key to getting a song to stand out in a sea of songs vying for people's attention. One key to memorability is to get the audience to sing along with it. That way it stays in their heads and makes it that much more memorable because they keep singing it later. Call and response really gets people to sing along because it gives them a cue. They know that when the call happens, their response isn't far behind. When you hear, we will, you know to come in on Rock You. Combined with gang vocals, it really gets them to sing along because people typically feel more comfortable singing in groups than alone. That subconscious comfort makes them more likely to sing if they feel like they're part of a crowd, making your song that much more memorable because they're singing it long after it stops playing. Storytelling utilizes techniques like these so that you can hook the audience into your song and keep them there. The C in Pi Scout is for contrast. Contrast between the sections of your songs is necessary to keep your song moving forward. People need a balance of new and familiar to stay interested in anything. This is all the more true for songs. If there isn't a change in energy level, note range, intervals, length of syllables, starting beats, etc., then the song gets boring and loses the attention of the listener. I picked up one tip for creating contrast from Robin Frederick, author of Shortcuts to Hit Songwriting and other great songwriting books published by Taxi Independent A&R. One of her tips for creating contrast is to start different sections of your song on different beats. Imagine that the first part of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is my chorus, and then my bridge is Up Above the World So High. Here's how the song normally goes. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Everything starts on beat 1. It sounds like it's all one section of the song. There's really no separation between my quote-unquote chorus and my quote-unquote bridge. Now look at what happens when I change the starting beat of Up Above the World So High to the upbeat between 1 and 2. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Now it sounds like a pretty good bridge. If you try this technique on your own songs, you'll notice how just changing that starting beat will give you new rhythmic and melodic ideas for how to add life to an entire section. Using these and other ways to create contrast between sections of your song will keep things moving so your listener stays engaged. The O in Pie Scout is for organization. Your songs need to be organized so the audience gets the full impact of what you're trying to say. This includes the overall format of the song, the way you construct your melodies, and how you lay out your ideas over the course of the song. The worst thing that you can do is have a great melody and great lines, but at the end of the song, no one knows what you were talking about. This is a really common mistake among beginning songwriters. Either the lyrics, the melody, or the general form of the song are so all over the place that the audience can't really follow. One key way to keep your song organized is to make sure your melody follows a basic question-answer format. All pop songs use this technique to an extent, some more than others. This can be done a lot of different ways, but one common way is to have a question, an answer, repeat the same question, then give a different answer. Then do the whole thing again, preferably with a slight difference on the very last answer. I'll break this down more in the lessons to follow, but I'll give a basic demonstration. Mary had a little lamb. Question. Little lamb, answer. Mary had a little lamb. Same question. Whose fleece was white as snow. Different answer. Then you repeat the whole thing again. Everywhere that Mary went. Question. Mary went. Answer. Everywhere that Mary went. Question. The lamb was sure to go. Different answer with a slight twist from the first go around. There are many ways to make a melody that has the right balance of new and familiar to keep your listener engaged. This is just one of them. Adele's Hello is a good example of a more advanced version of that with some variation, but we'll save that for later on in the course. We just covered one part of the bigger picture that is organization. From how you construct your melody to the number of sections you include, to knowing the functions of each individual section, organization makes it easy for your listener to follow along with your songs. The U in Pie Scout is for universal lyrics. This is a topic that Robin Frederick really digs into in her book, Shortcuts to Songwriting for Film and TV. Again, I really recommend this one. By the way, I don't get a cent if you buy anything from these songwriting instructors. I just want to give credit where credit's due for the foundations of these 8 ingredients that I'm sharing with you. So, universal lyrics are pretty much what they sound like. Lyrics that are universal. Great songs are those that reach inside of anyone listening to it and make them feel something. It's hard to do that if you're talking about something that only 1% of the population can relate to, or if your details are so specific that they only relate to people who are on the inside of your inner circle of friends. Universal lyrics require relatable topics and lyrics that allow anyone to fill in the details with their own experience. Universal lyrics make the difference between saying, "You sat sadly on that creaky chair staring out of a cracked window," and saying, "You sat sadly in a yoga pose on a creaky wooden polka dot chair staring out of a cracked stained glass window hidden behind bamboo shoot blinds." In the first example, a creaky chair gives detail about the chair while leaving it vague enough where someone could imagine a creaky wooden chair, a creaky metal chair, rocking chair, kitchen chair, etc. Cracked window adds a powerful image to emphasize the sadness of the scene, but still allows the listener to fill in an image of a window that they're familiar with. The second example has lyrics that would be great content for a book or a poem, but not so great for a song. Not everyone could relate to yoga poses, stained glass windows, bamboo shoot blinds, or a polka dot chair. These might be really intimate details with a lot of meaning for the writer, but would keep the listener from really connecting their own experiences to the song. Universal lyrics let your audience connect to your songs and will maximize the reach that your song can have. And finally, the T in Pi Scout is for timing. Timing is everything. When do you do what in the song? When do you deliver the moral of the story or the main message of the song? What needs to happen in verse 1 as opposed to verse 2? What needs to happen in the bridge as opposed to the chorus? The perfect joke is destroyed if the punchline comes too early. The same is true of songs. Great songs are dependent on great timing. A lesson I learned from the late John Brandy, author of The Craft and Business of Songwriting, the first and possibly most comprehensive songwriting book that I've ever read. He's got a special place in my heart for starting me on this journey. One key strategy for timing is knowing how to use the bridge. The bridge is typically where you have the big change, the conclusion reached, the moral of the story, or the big payoff of the joke, message, or story you've been setting up the whole song. This big change can happen in several ways. The speaker in the song can have a change of perspective. For example, the whole song they're confused about something, and then in the bridge, oh, I get it now. The whole song they're hurting, and in the bridge they say how they'll move past the hurt. The whole song they say how much they loved him, and then they change to seeing him for what he really is. Another way to create the big change in the bridge is to change the tense that you're speaking in, from past to present, present to past, etc. I used to do this, now I'm older and I do this. It's hard now, it's going to be better one day. The song 7 Years does a great job of changing tense to really make the bridge hit home. You can also change the person in which you're speaking, first person, second person, or third person. Another strategy is to change from a specific issue one person is dealing with to a more general statement about life or people. The message of the whole song might have been, "You were always by my side." And the bridge comes and the singer realizes, I guess no one's really an island. The power of timing in creating a powerful bridge is a lesson I learned from Jai Josephs, author of The Songwriter's Blueprint. In this course, you'll learn how to do the right thing at the right time to make sure that your songs really hit home. So there you have it. You want the ingredients to make a great song? They all live inside the heart of a Pi Scout. P-I-E-S-C-O-U-T. Prosody, imagery, energy and emotional build, storytelling, contrast, organization, universal lyrics, and timing. The first of these ingredients that we're going to cover is organization. We'll be digging into this topic in the next lesson. But wait, don't forget about your gift. So now that you know the 8 areas of songwriting you need to master to write great songs, how do you go about mastering them? Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm breaking down these 8 ingredients of great songwriting in great detail in my 12-week online course, The Intentional Songwriter. The course begins February 1st, 2018, and pre-registration for the course closes January 31st. In the course, students will have access to 12 modules of lessons that will be uploaded once weekly to a private Facebook mastermind group. Each module will have several lessons that break down the ingredient for the week. These videos will be available for you to view whenever you'd like. But that's not all you get. In addition to the course content, students will also have access to weekly feedback sessions on assignments from the class, or how to apply these lessons to songs you've already written. For example, if you had a tune and you wanted some ideas for how to create contrast, then we'd cover it there. Each student is guaranteed at least one chance to have their song reviewed in the feedback session per month. There will also be weekly Q&A sessions where I can answer any questions you may have about the course content or other songwriting related topics. And on top of that, you'll also have access to additional content to help you along your songwriting journey. Normally, the cost for this course would be $80 paid monthly for the 3 months of the course, or a discounted $200 total if paid up front. However, for the next 48 hours, I'm offering 2 insane discounts that I am very unlikely to offer again. If you make your first payment for the course by tomorrow night at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time, you'll get the entire course at 50% off. That means you'll get the full 12-week course for only $40 a month, or a discounted $100 total if paid up front if you sign up before tomorrow night. The second deal is even crazier than the first. If you sign up before 11:59 p.m. today, then you get the entire course for $25 a month, or a discounted $60 if paid up front. That deal is only available for the next 24 hours. I will not be making this offer again. So if you want to enjoy the benefit of hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars worth of the best lessons from the best songwriters around, put in one convenient, easy-to-grasp package, now's the time. Follow the instructions on this page to sign up for the course and take advantage of this amazing offer. Thanks again for taking time to check out this workshop, and I'll see you inside.